Hunt is doing companies for e-residents, and we're doing the accounting as well. And one of our main focus is experienced entrepreneurs who like to invest, who like to grow, who think globally, and who have more ambitious plans for their businesses. So that's why we thought that maybe interactive brokers would be something that our main client would be really interested in, as it's a really lucrative option, especially for your investments. And today we're going to dig into it more with the expertise of Thomas Heyden. So yes, Thomas, you can take it over from here and introduce yourself.
Okay. So how did I use the interactive brokers for my e-resident? That's what I would like to explain to you, and how we cooperate as Systrade with interactive brokers, because I'm coming pretty much from the investment side. So I'm doing brokerage business and investment business and fund business since more than 25 years. I run my own funds and I'm an investor, and I'm doing brokerage, especially with experienced traders and companies together for more than 25 years. So at the beginning, I don't know how familiar you are with e-resident. I think one of the developers of e-resident is Tavi Kotka, and he is a friend of my wife. And I've joined him in his kitchen one evening after he decided that, he told me that the Estonian government is coming up with the idea of e-resident, and this was a project of him. And then I was very excited, because what could this be? Because I'm traveling to Estonia since 2005, I think 2005, oftentimes, and I had my experience with this country that it was very, very digital, that it is always ahead, or much more ahead than like Germany, especially what is in internet stuff and electronic business. So what we had at the Tavi Kotka's kitchen is one of the traditional stuff is black bread and butter in Estonia, herring, of course, and the most important thing, of course, is vodka, Virovalge. I don't know who of you have ever been to Estonia, but with all these ingredients, he explained to me the idea of e-resident, and I said, oh, this is the perfect thing I would like to have for my own. So I mentioned to you before, I'm coming originally from Germany. I'm in investment business and financial business. Since more than 25 years. I worked for a couple of banks and investment firms. I was always self-employed. In the beginning from 2001 with my own company in trading and in brokerage. And I had always a big focus on my own portfolio when I'm taking care of several assets like equities, derivatives and stuff like this. And so this is always the thing behind me. So I had clients, I still have, of course, I have these clients. My clients are international, digital affine, financial sophisticated, and they're very price sensitive. Therefore, I was always looking, or I was always in a situation with big competitors like banks with the prices. And then Interactive came up, and they had a platform which had the best prices and fees I know, especially if you are interested just to do your own trading decision, you want to do your own cash management, you would like to do your own hedging for your financial assets, however. So, and the third part was my request in the long term for what I would like to do in the future, because I had always the plan to move out from Germany. I would like to go more down to the Alps, working here, for example, in Switzerland, Austria, or in Liechtenstein. So Liechtenstein was not at the focus at the beginning. That came up later on. But yeah, I was very, very interested can I get a structure which makes me very, very flexible, and what gives me the possibility to stay in contact with my clients and do this service and do my own trading as well. So that was my vision: operational, best price and best technology, which Interactive covers, of course. And personally, for me, to be 100% flexible in time, place, and administration. This is something which you can handle quite simple via the tools of Interactive. So as you see, I had a perfect situation for me with e-residence, because I said, okay, I will fund my own company via the tool of e-residence, what makes me very, very flexible. I have an access to the European market, and I have a structure. How can I do business via Interactive, and how I can integrate or introduce clients to Interactive. So these are the most of, or let's say, the categories of my clients I have. This is coming from my history. I stay in contact with a lot of traders, high frequency traders. I have a lot of companies. They doing their cash management via my solution here to Interactive, because they say we don't need any kind of big bank, for example. They, let's say, traditional bank who's taking care of these my account, because I'm taking care of my own account. I would like to have the best price. I would like to have a digital platform. And especially a lot of banks in Germany, they have been not very, very flexible and let's say digital oriented. Therefore, and so I had a perfect solution for this. And I have two high net worth individuals. They're traveling around the world, they're doing their business, and they have the asset management, the portfolio via my desk, but I'm not doing kind of asset management. So I'm always happy to discuss ideas with these people, but I'm not offering any kind of asset managed services, because this is a part of regulatory business, and we are here as Systrade regulated, but we are not doing asset management, because this is something which is always difficult. You have to fulfill a lot of criteria in this section, and therefore we are not interested. We are offering just best prices, best support, and that's all. Yeah, so you have to take care of your own trading ideas, whatever. This is my core business, let's say, and Tom Oha using. And the second part for me, which I mentioned before was important, is my own wealth management. So I'm taking care of my my own assets. I'm a trader, of course. I like to invest in markets. I love markets, because I think it's always no day is like the day before. It's very exciting to see what is happening in markets, driven by politics, by economical, or let's say any virus crisis, stuff like this. Yeah, so therefore I had the request to the broker on my side. So at this point, I'm in the same situation like my clients are. So I would like to trade equities, funds, bonds, derivatives, all these stuffs. The company or the broker or the bank has to be regulated and has to be financial strength, of course, because this is important, not at all since Lehman. This is, I think, in the environment we have with bank crisis and the situation in the European Union, which is very, very important to have a strong partner on this side. Then it has to be digital, of course, because I don't want to go to any officer and call up somebody. I would like to, of course, sometimes it's necessary to call up somebody at Interactive, but I think the most of these things you can handle digital. Yeah, quotes, because some of the people are very interested in real-time quotes, or sometimes only delayed quotes, but you have quotes and 24-hour access to your account and all these things, what is happening on the markets. It's pretty much the same like I had in the past when I was working in a bank. It's the platform is very oriented on this side, what is a trader is interested, or what is how you doing professional asset management. It is open via APIs to other tools. You can integrate portfolio management softwares to interactive. That's everything what is possible. And as far as I know, the most of these programs which are at the market, like NinjaTrader or Lexware, stuff like this, they have an interface to interactive, because interactive is one of the biggest one in the world. Yeah. And lowest cost, yeah, you will see if you have a look to the prices on the website of interactive, which
sorry, Tom, could you reshare your screen? Yeah.
My screen? You don't see the screen?
Yeah, somebody interrupted.
Okay. Sorry. So, is it back again? Okay. So if you have a look to the prices on the web page, so it's very attractive, especially if you compare this with prices in European countries with other banks here, like Deutsche Bank, Commerzbank, or BNP and stuff like this. So it's very attractive. So yeah, and important to me, and that was the reason why I founded Ota Ühing, or an e-resident. It helps me to cover the taxes, because of the special situation you have in Estonia, that you don't have to pay taxes on profits you don't take out of the company. So that helps me to increase my wealth on this side, because if I'm taking out money from the company, what I've done in the past, of course, when I lived in Germany, I paid the taxes in Estonia, and I paid the taxes in Germany, because they have this tax cooperation or tax agreement of two countries. But it helps me to leave the profits in the account, because I don't know who's from your side from Germany, but you usually have to pay Abgeltungssteuer, a special tax in Germany, for each profit you make on a trade. And there's about, let's say, approximately about 30%. And if you can save this 30% in the account, and you can work with this money longer, it helps you to increase the amount of the account at all. Yeah, so yeah, and finally, the solution with e-residence, because I didn't know where will I go in the future when I was in Tavi Kotka's kitchen, and the idea was maybe I will move to Estonia because of my family there, or the family from my wife, or maybe we move to other places. The only thing what was sure at the beginning for me is that I don't want to stay until the next or the end of my life in Germany, because of a lot of other situations and restrictions in this country. Yeah, so the most of these things I've mentioned before, so it's about interactive, it's low cost prices, but I think it makes sense that you have a look to the web page more in detail. That helps you more than if I present everything to you. It is financial, very strength. They have more than $10 billion capital, and it's growing, and they have a lot of clients there. And which is most important to me is that they have a lot of client accounts there, because it's always the question, if the clients trust the company, then the company will make money at all. So yeah, it's an award-winning platform. And the other thing which is important and to keep in your mind, there are a lot of banks outside in the world, in Europe, but they are not very focused. A lot of banks are doing a lot of things. They do in normal deposit business, they do in wire business, they do in investment business, they do in real estate business, and so on and so on. And I think it's important that you are on a work together with a company which is focused on this, and this is trading and investing. That's all. So there will be no risk, like in other banks, from financing any big companies or financing Turkey. I'm not against Turkey, but if you have a look to these markets in Turkey, nobody knows what will happen with a couple of banks, because especially one of the banks in Germany, the Commerzbank, is highly invested in, or they have done a lot of financing in Turkey. And I don't want to be affected by these things, what will happen. So I think if a brokerage company is not doing prop trading, so they trade their own money, so they take only care about clients, they're doing brokerage, this is focus, and this is very low risk in this kind of business. Yeah, Systrade, so we are here in Liechtenstein, located and regulated with the FMA, so it's a fully regulated company. So therefore we could do this introducing business to Interactive, because Interactive is only working together with regulated partners on this side. They are not, or they're not so focused in advertising, like for example, if you look to some other banks, they do a lot of commercials in the in television and so on, and this is not the original business from Interactive. Interactive is pretty much living from the recommendation of other clients and with the working together with brokers like us. Yeah, we have since these times we have a growing network and platform for other services and financial solutions around this, because we're doing certificates, we are implementing for some of our clients alternative investment funds, stuff like this. The most of our clients are traders, professional traders, and some of them, they are interested to get capital introduction to institutional companies. And this is something we are doing at all. Yeah. Oh, sorry, forgot I could highlight this anyway. So, and yeah, also important to me is we have no overhead. So we have 5 people here, highly efficient, and no, how we say in English, I don't know, waterhead, Wasserkopf, I don't know if it's correct. It's overhead. It's no overhead, no big overhead. Yeah, why Systrade instead of IB only? Because e-residence, that is what I realized in the past, is not a standard business for IB. Yeah, it is always helpful if you have a partner to get the account running, because this is the most difficult thing at the beginning in a relationship with Interactive, is to get the account running because of all these things like KYC and know your client and anti-money laundering, because this is driven by the regulators, and this is nothing special by IB. This is at every bank right now. It is coming up more and more, all this regulated stuff, because of all things what happened in the past. But this is something we are taking care about and what we can handle quite easily. And we have a huge partner network. For example, if you say, I would like to work or I need this and this kind of software for my portfolio, we are very excited to help you with this at all. So we have contacts there because it's our business. We come from this side, and this is the idea what I would like to tell you. I'm doing what I have the experience from, because I did it by my own, because I used it in this way. Yeah. The structure, yeah, it's simple. The e-resident is handling care of his operational business, and the second part is the asset and cash management on this side. Interactive Brokers is able via reporting to report to Silverhand with any kind of what kind of reports are needed. This is not difficult. It's digital or as PDF, whatever is needed on this side. So let me come back to these 2 sectors of my clients, benefits for companies. Yeah, if you handle or if you want to act via Interactive, you have global direct access to any kind of assets. They come up with cryptos at 2, or they have done this, or it's just running. That I think it began in 2021. If you are interested. But it's important that, for example, if you open up an account at Interactive and you say you make your money out of cryptos, this is not a good idea right now because of all the things which are not very clear at the AML side right now. So, but these are things we can handle. Yeah, then it is important to have a global player, because I believe that the e-residents are mainly global oriented. Attractive fees. You don't want to pay for big skyscrapers in Frankfurt downtown. Direct support by Systrade. However, if something is going wrong, you can, if you are directly with Interactive, you have to sit on the telephone line. It is easier to contact us because the most of your questions we have already done before with other clients. Connectivity to money management software. This is important for, especially for small companies like you. Yeah, 24/7. So that means it makes you acting as a professional, like a professional money management and big company, of course. But I have big companies. I have a stock listed company in Germany, which is doing the complete money management and asset management via my account here via Interactive, or that's Systrade. Yeah. So I know that a couple of e-residents are traders, so they're doing their own business by only trading in financial markets. Why is this for you unique to go via our service? Because for high frequency traders, we can offer better conditions than IB can do by their own. Why can we do this? Because we generate scales in financial scales here at Interactive. And on this side, we can benefit high frequency traders from this, or high volume traders. Yeah. And additional, I've mentioned this to you before, we have a huge network for traders or for investors. It's a platform we're working together in the future. The name is Davinex. You can have a look to this. This is a platform where you can choose, if, for example, if you are a private person or a company who doesn't want to trade by your own, but you say, oh, I don't want to give my money to a fund manager. I would like to give this money to a very talented trader. You can choose this via Davinex, and Davinex is doing this via our platform here. And for example, if you are a trader and you're looking for seed money or cap intro, you can go via us as well. So I think this is a main or huge benefit. Yeah. So finally, if you are very, very wealthy, for example, you can run your own fund. Alternative investment fund is something like a private hedge fund, which is a specialty here in Liechtenstein. So you can fund your own fund. So of course you need kind of a volume there, but it's very interesting for tax reasons, for asset management reasons as well. So as I mentioned to you, I have some high net worth individuals. They run their own funds here out from Liechtenstein, and these via the accounts here. Yeah. Network of software consultants and algo developers. This is important for these kind of clients online. Yeah, regulatory and legal support is always a big issue, because especially in these markets. Yeah. So scale up, options for future to avoid inflation, financial repression, and other uncertainties. Yeah. So when I have looked to the financial markets, especially yesterday was a decision of the ECB in Germany. Maybe they will end up this kind of quantitative easing and the cheap interest rates. That's could be. And therefore, what makes Liechtenstein special? I think Liechtenstein as an environment, if you want to fund here another company or investment, it's a state without deficit. It is Swiss franc based, very, very low taxes, of course. And it is part of the ECR. It's not EU, but it's oriented on the European legislative. And therefore, it makes things easier for people, especially if you come out from the Western countries here. You can fund with e-residence and then OSA certificates, for example. They are very flexible. It's your own investment vehicle then. It is legal but anonym. It's a professional structure. You can add any kind of asset to this certificate. You can fund your own, or you can fund your own investment fund. All assets you can imagine. And another specialty here in Liechtenstein is Liechtenstein Life Insurance, which is I would say it's the best tax optimal tool. It's regulated and it's official in the European Union. It's something, it's global transferable, it's insolvency protected. That means that whatever is happening to the company who have done this life insurance, it protects the money from you out from any bankruptcy of any insurance company and so on. This is something special here, in Liechtenstein. So that's all. So I hope I was not too nervous because it was to be honest, it was the first online presentation here in this section. And yeah.
It was great. You did a nice job, and I liked the visual representations as well. One thing I would like to know, maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear. How long does it usually take, the process of getting an interactive broker's account? Like with you, when a person would start it with your help?
It depends pretty much what documents you have on your table, of course. But we can send you a list what is needed, and then it should be not taking more than let's say 1 or 2 weeks. But if you do not have the stuff together, for example, and you don't know how to answer the questions in the account opening procedure, it could take you months, of course, because this is something what is increasing since the last years. At the beginning, it was to open up an account. When I'm looking back, and 20 years ago, it was just a formula and it has been done. But today, it's quite important that they want to check what is your experience in investing, where does the money comes from, how is your personal situation, and this is nothing who's interactive is interested in. It is something which is based on the requests of the regulatory authorities, and they just have to fulfill the criteria. But usually if you have everything together in the documents, it will not take you much more than 1 week.
And there have been some additional questions. One is from Rashid that's saying, is there any additional fees?
No.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. If you are a company and you're doing just your management here via us, then you get there's a small markup for our service, but it's very, very small. I think it's about 20% on the fee of interactive, but it depends. So it depends pretty much on the volume you have and so on. So, but if you are a high frequency or high volume trader, you will have the same conditions like interactive or better on our side. So that's all. It depends. So it depends what kind of service you need. Yeah. If you don't need any kind of service, there's nothing markup.
And Honor, I don't know if that's correct. You can
yeah, that's
ask
correct.
live.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, for my question. Yeah, I just wanted to learn if the leverage is still limited to 1 to 30 in Europe at IB brokers for Forex trading.
Yeah, sorry, once again, sorry, I didn't get this.
Is the leverage is like limited to 1 to 30 in Europe due to regulations?
What do you mean by to Turkey? So the leverage?
No, 1 to 30.
After 1 to 30, 1
to 30, yeah.
It is limited. I'm not, sorry, I understood, sorry.
No, I'm from Turkey, that's another thing, but.
I have to check, but the leverage is limited, of course it is, but it's I think it's a 1 to 30,
yeah.
That's all?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I will send you a long email for some couple of questions.
Yeah.
Later.
So you are interested in Forex trading?
Actually, I'm the business development manager of FX Street and Financial Markets Media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I think you know FX Street.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And we are launching a new company, a new financial markets marketing company. And we are also now in like checking options for like the IB brokers, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I joined with you today.
Okay. Yeah, we should talk. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then there's a question of what is the minimum to start and what kind of software to trade? Is it user friendly? I'm using eToro.
Yeah, so it's you're using eToro. Yeah, so you I don't know eToro exactly. I know that the platform of Interactive is the TWS Trader Workstation. This might be more oriented on on trader side, because I think eToro is I think very oriented on private trading. So I'm working together with this platform or with Trader Workstation and more than 20 years. So for me, it is user friendly, I would say, but I know that it's open. You can also integrate the data feed to other tools you use. I don't know if it is possible. I wouldn't expect that it's possible to use the eToro platform, because that would be kind of conflict. But yeah, I think it's something you can have a look to this. There are several videos and in YouTube and on the interactive side at all, and you can have to look to this if this is if this covers your needs.
And then we had a comment from Oki that she or he liked your talk very much. And they are asking which service provider you are using, because they also want to do an investment company for their investments to grow wealth. I would like to mention here, as I did in the chat, that Silverhunt also does holdings. So as you know, in Estonia, there's deferred profit taxation, and in certain situations, you can leverage that with your investment company. And we always ask our leads to check out first their tax advice in their home country. Like you should first seek out some legal or tax advice from Germany. We also have a licensed German tax advisor on the team. So feel free to contact us. We can help with that. But as for you, Thomas, tell me what solution are you using for your Estonian owner?
So what do you mean by which solution do I'm using for my?
For accounting.
Oh, yeah. For the accounting. Oh, I have a private person there. She is a auditor, and she's a friend of my wife, and therefore she was going with this right from the beginning. So because she was so when I started in 2014 with e-residence, there was nothing at the beginning. So I think I was one of the first guys there, and therefore I had to look for a solution, and that was why she came up, and she was an auditor, and she has done this for us.
Yeah, so you came straight from that kitchen where.
Yeah, I came directly from the. I woke up in the morning after vodka, and then I said, okay, I now have to go for an account and stuff like this. Yeah.
Does anyone have any more questions? You can also ask live, don't be shy.
So yeah, so the thing what I would like to show you is there's not a big thing. It's nothing. I think it's not rocket science. It's something what is quite easy to handle. And in 2014, it covers my needs, especially with tax, with the situation that my clients have been from other countries. So it doesn't make sense to me to open up in another company in Germany. So therefore I said, okay, it's perfectly to have something running in what could be globally. And I have global clients, and I had a business relationship with a company outside of Germany, especially here in Liechtenstein, and the other one is in the US, like Interactive. And therefore, everything fits perfectly together. And I think this is something what could be also important to you, because I don't know who is e-resident. So I've never seen a survey of this. What are the people are doing? I know some of them are software developers, some of them are traders, some of them might be I don't know. So it's so I think if you want to be flexible, if it is not needed that you have a special relationship with a banker and the street next to you or in the village next to you. So I think this is the perfect solution. Yeah, it's 100% digital. It's it's low cost. You don't have to pay for the skyscrapers in Frankfurt downtown, as I mentioned before.
Hi, I have actually a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, great. So I'm running a remote online marketing agency via Estonia, and looking into ways to invest my business equity. But what I'm just wondering now is like, is it smart to have a separate company set up for doing investments, or does it also make sense to just use my business equity within my online marketing agency for investments?
Yeah, it depends. I don't know how your original business is what? I didn't get this at the beginning.
Online marketing agency. So
online marketing. Okay.
We help with website development, Facebook ads, Google ads, and so on.
Yeah, therefore it might make sense to have your assets in a separate company, because to protect this from anything what is happening in your operational business. Yeah. So this is something you can do, but this is also possible to do this via the solution I had on the slide, Scale Up. For example, if I don't know how big your assets are, but if you say, okay, I have, let's say something around €500,000 up to 1 million, might make sense to set up a certificate, and then this is possible to do this via Luxembourg, but we are helping with things like this. Then you have a known investment vehicle, because you would like to protect this from anything what is happening with your operational business. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, any more questions? Or everybody is in the weekend?
Does it matter for international brokers how old the company is? Like, does it have history, or is that something that matters?
I would say yes and no. Sometimes it makes things easier, but it depends pretty much where your source of wealth is coming from, or where did you make your money from, because this is something the bank or the broker has to take care. Because I think maybe you know what was happening to a couple of banks in Estonia because of some money laundering there. This is the most important thing for any bank, is to take care where is the money coming from. Because if they accept money which is coming out from, let's say, any kind of drug business or weapon business and stuff like this, they are responsible for this, and therefore they are very, very afraid to get these kind of monies in. So therefore, it's important that you have a clear statement where you make your money. For example, yes, I'm doing real estate business via my OSA Öing since 5 years, and therefore I earned 200,000 euros on this. So then they are fine, but it's needed to present how you make this. Yeah, it's not acceptable just to say it. They need some documents for this. But this is in every bank right now happening. This is always all over the world the same. Therefore, it's quite difficult to, well, it's becoming more and more difficult to open up accounts. Yeah.
I get you. And even service providers do don't know your customer forms. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's in a regulatory environment, and therefore you have to take care about this. And therefore, it's also important to have somebody on the side who knows how to handle these things. Because in the most cases there will be questions. Sometimes it seems to be if you start opening with the account document, you will find figures like are you familiar with or is Vladimir Putin part of your family, for example? And if you would say yes, he is he's the son of my auntie and so on, then this will end up with some questions. This is not the idea of interactive, but this is a part of the rules. They have been implemented by the regulatory authorities, and therefore this is something they have to check. And
in some countries as well, right?
In countries, for example, or you are located, in Iraq, this will end up in additional questions. And therefore, this is also the reason why we said, okay, we are doing this, and I have this experience with IB, because don't misunderstand me, but at the beginning, Estonia was nothing interactive, didn't know quite well. So they said, okay, where's Estonia? Estonia is in the eastern part of Europe. And then we had some questions there, and therefore you have to take care about this. But if you know how to handle it, it's not a big issue. You can get these things running. And they have clients from there now, of course. And I'm not the only one.
So if there aren't any more questions, last time to ask, then we're quite well in the time frame, I think, to finish up and wrap up. Is there any last advice, short advice for e-residents you would like to give?
No, I think I still believe it's a fantastic idea for a lot of people. At the beginning, I never realized, or I couldn't imagine, what is a digital nomad. These things came up during the last, let's say, 5 to 6 years. And I've seen a documentary I think on Arte about digital nomads. And one of them was also an e-resident. And I think it's a perfect idea, especially for people like us, so young people. Okay, I'm not so young any longer, but in the beginning I was young, and I think it's perfectly. It's like a lot of things from Estonia, which let's say quite modern oriented. So when I was first time when I was in Estonia, I think I've mentioned this to you in 2003 or 2005. I was sitting in a cafe bar with high-speed internet, and this is let's say 18 years ago. And in Germany, nobody in a coffee had internet during this time. And so I think sometimes Estonia is ahead. And this is I love it. And therefore I think e-residence is a great solution for a lot of a lot of people. It doesn't might fit for everybody, especially the idea they had at the beginning with to get 25 or 30 million people there. I don't think this is realistic, but it's realistic for kind of a niche, and it's perfectly fitting to this. And therefore, I think there are also other countries copying this kind of solution and so on. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yes, someone asked, don't you need a license to establish an investment firm or fund manager in Estonia? I suspect yes.
Yeah, if you would like to launch this in Estonia, of course, you are always, if you do an asset management business or brokerage business, you need a license. So I had my companies in Germany, and I had a license with the BaFin, with a German authority, and we have this here in Liechtenstein, and I had a license in Switzerland as well in the past. So because you have to be very, very careful if you're taking care of other people's money, because it's also not possible to do this like, say, family and friends, because if something is happening to the assets, you are fully responsible for this, and therefore you have to fulfill these criteria. And therefore is that is the reason why we have this solution with Davinex I've mentioned before in the slide with the traders. There is a possibility to handle these things, but you have to be careful. Otherwise, you are you will be restricted.
Yeah. And to wrap it up, I would like to add, maybe when we're talking about investments and the deferred profit taxation, then I always like to say that Estonia is not a tax haven. So yeah, please check that you won't have any Betriebsstätte or permanent establishment issues in your own country when you manage from your home country, your Estonian company. You might it's not highly possible that you have a permanent establishment there and have to do double accounting and all of these things. But when it comes to low bureaucracy and doing business the fast way, then Estonia is your place, especially if you're traveling around constantly and like to have a place where your money can grow.
Yep, 100% agree with you.